We're live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. This is our honest review section of our Spotlight stream, where we like to talk about our favorite parts of the game that we just did on the Spotlight, which in this case was Mortals: Descent of the Gods by Partial Arc. And we also talk about some constructive criticisms we have along the way.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, who are we? I'm Matt.
I'm Josh.
And in the background...
I'm the disembodied voice of TP.
There you go. So we would like to point out first and foremost that this stream and all of this week's streams are sponsored by Mortals: Descent of the Gods by Partial Arc, as well as Fruit Ninja by Lucky Duck.
Yeah.
So big shout out to both of those companies. If you haven't had a chance, go check out our Spotlight that we just completed if you're watching on video on demand of Mortals.
Yeah. And also check out our Spotlight of Fruit Ninja that we did on Monday.
So spoiler alert.
Spoiler, we won.
We won. High five.
Co-op game.
Yay. We
so,
won.
Matt, what is Mortals: Descent of the Gods?
So, Mortals: Descent of the Gods is a cooperative board game where you're playing as the ancient gods of old. Can you do something about that? Thank you. We're playing as the ancient gods. However, death has decided to make us mortal and bring us to modern times.
And then we have to get a job. It kind of sucks.
So, it's really cute. They've all got... jobs that correlate to their
I think
God
Thor and
power,
Anubis
so-
are like two of my favorites, though.
yeah, Anubis the mortician, so Anubis is god of the dead in Egypt, and then Thor he's got the hammer, so he's the contractor.
Yeah.
So it's just really cute that they have
Imagine
that in there.
Thor with Mjolnir like at a work spot, hammer and nails.
It'd be quite amusing. But the whole concept of the game is that you are in this museum because you have to close these gates that are holding your god powers.
Yes.
So these gates were set in place by death, and you have to go and break down these 6 gates within a set number of turns.
So for the 4-player game, it was 9 turns.
Right. And what's going on is that you have baddies that are spawning from these gates. Most of them are ghouls and liches, which are your run-of-the-mill baddies.
Yeah.
Easy one-shot kills, but then there's also kind of quasi-mini bosses that we have within the game that are called the...
Mythics.
Yeah. And the Mythics, there's 12 of them in the deck. We ran through 9 of them just because we had a really horrible draw.
We went through 9, and we went through 3/4 of the deck.
Yeah. That's actually about right. But we got most of them in the beginning.
Yeah, we got most of them like in the first half, and then it was just little baddies near the end.
And so the Mythics all have unique abilities and different varying health levels.
Yeah.
And you've got to change up your strategy on how you play them. So each character has their own special abilities, has their own unique items that you could possibly get with the luck of the draw there.
Yeah.
And throughout the game, you've got unique items that you're getting, both basic items and legendary items to boost up your abilities. So I'm going to take this first, where we talk about our favorite parts of the game.
Yeah.
And then I'll pass it off to you.
I know your first point.
Yeah, I know. Like Anne's got her thing of artwork and quick reference guides. My thing is unique player abilities.
Yes.
So I love games with unique player abilities. That's what stands out the most to me, especially when you have modifiers such as these unique items that are going to add on to those abilities. So each of the players has a unique ability in several aspects.
Yeah.
So each character has, first off, you've got your basic attack. So your basic attack is going to have a text that tells you exactly what it does. So roll 4 dice, and you're going to deal a damage on a 4+. This is for Anubis. And you add 1 die to your attack for each monster you kill, which is actually a little bit cool flavor there because he's ripping the souls out of the dead monsters and throwing them at his opponents to attack with them.
And each character has like most of them have a very unique difference. There's a couple that are very similar, but they all have their unique flavor to them.
Right. So then Anubis also... each of the characters also has a free action, which you unlock once you're about... maybe a third of the way through the game experience-wise.
I think we locked that even quicker.
Yeah, fairly
because we were in God mode for the last couple rounds.
That's true. So the free action is just, as it says, it's a free action that you could use at any point during your turn where you roll this lovely little wing die here, which either has a blank, a wing, which is going to unlock the first ability, or a crit, which is the blue wing, which is going to unlock the second ability.
And there's 2 of each of them.
So yeah, there's always... there's 2 of each, and each character has these 2 abilities, which the crit is just an upgraded version.
Yeah, an upgraded version of it.
So, for example, for Anubis here, I can move myself or another player 1 additional space.
Which you use mostly for yourself throughout the game until the end.
That's true. And then if you crit, you can move yourself twice, or move 2 2 other players or move yourself and another player 1 space.
Yeah.
So it's nice you could kind of push people around the board. And then finally, when you get to your final experience level, you unlock what's called your God mode. And so it's going to be a pretty beefy ability. So for Anubis, I now hit on a 3+ instead of a 4+.
So I want to say we got the free move around turn 2.
2 to 3.
2 to 3, and then I got a God mode probably around halfway, maybe a little past halfway.
5 to 6.
Yeah. So.
And again, it kind of scales up. And the way you're getting your experience is you get 1 point for killing each of the small baddies and 3 points for killing each of the big baddies.
Or closing a seal.
Or closing a seal.
And the whole party gets 3 points.
And the whole party gets 3 points
Yeah.
for those. But yeah, as I was saying, I really like special abilities. So each character's got a special attack, a special free action, and a special God mode power.
And then a special item.
There's legendary items that you get for defeating your mythics.
Do you have his item out? We were looking at it a minute ago.
I had it a second ago. It's right here. It's right here. So you've got these legendary cards. So the Ankh of the Jackal, if anyone else gets this, they re-roll one of their ranged attack die, which is nice.
Yeah.
But if Anubis gets it, I can double my damage for my first attack. So it's a supercharged item for Anubis. I didn't get a chance to get this in the game.
We got one of our items for one of our gods. Sadly, that item did not reach.
It didn't even make it. But we still were able to kick some butt and chew some bubble gum. We were all out of bubble gum.
Yeah. So you win the game. Do we say how you win the game?
You win the game by either destroying all the seals before the big baddie comes out or killing the big baddie. And we were able to do it in the first method, so we didn't even get to see the big baddie.
We didn't get to see baddie. So apparently that's normally most people fight the big baddie.
So going back to what the stuff is that I liked about the game, I like that, that's a huge thing for me is the unique player ability, just because it gives a lot more replay value there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really love the mythics, just because each one was so different from each other.
Yeah, they all had their unique kind of thing.
Like, it wasn't even, I don't think 2 of them shared the same ability.
Oh, no, each one had a very unique ability.
Yeah, so I rather enjoyed that. And then I love flavor text, too. And I might have stolen that from you, but I love flavor text, and all of the item cards have flavor text. Every single one, and I did not see any duplicates.
No, I don't. And they're a little hard to see on camera. Can you?
They're a little hard to see, but I made a joke when they were, the fine guys from Partial Arc. We had were on. They said,
Mark,
you
Andrew,
can get,
and Jay.
Yeah, Mark, Andrew, Jay. They said you can get Mjolnir for Thor, and I'm like, oh, you can get Mew Mew.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the flavor text for Mjolnir is a weapon so powerful no one can pronounce it.
Yeah.
So it's relevant, funny, like it's cute. It's really nice.
So there are a lot of movie quotes. Like you start what the name of your ability is, right?
A graveyard smash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm surprised you didn't start saying.
I didn't even pick up on that. That's funny. And then finally, one thing that I'd like to point out is that I really love the character artwork in the game.
I have to agree. The character artwork is.
It looks just like really awesome.
And Andrew is the artist.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's really
he did
awesome.
the art.
I love it. Like, in all honesty, I really love the character art, and Anubis is just really awesome. Thor's funny just because he's got.
Thor looks like he's in like a death metal band.
Yeah, Thor looks like the guy from Death Clock.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking.
But
of.
he's wearing the orange safety vest, which is really funny. Just all the character arts are really awesome.
I really like.
I forgot. Yeah, Heimdall is probably the most badass looking character in the game, just because he beat the crap out of everyone with a stop sign that he ripped in half and turned into a shield.
He ripped it out of the concrete,
and
then ripped it in half, made a shield out of it,
and then he's just got this really awesome rainbow shining down on him, just like the Rainbow Bridge.
Bifrost.
The Bifrost, yeah.
And it's actually, I think Bifrost is on there somewhere.
Possibly. Yep, Ride the Bifrost is his free action.
That's how he teleports.
Yeah. So I'm going to pass it over to you now, Josh. So what are some of the things that you liked about the game?
You hit a lot of my points.
I know, and I'm sorry, just because I had to gush over it, because this game hit on a lot of points for me.
So I have two mixed feelings about the art, and I love the character art. I love the art on all the cards and the character art. I think that were all really cool. I know one of the stretch goals here is instead of these little figures, it's going to be a character cutout.
Oh, so like a stamped
a silhouette, yeah.
Silhouette, yeah.
Kind of, which would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's an exciting one. I like the unique abilities. I thought they were real cool. I got to play as my kind of tank.
Yeah.
And I ran out 1 health the whole freaking game and just
it was funny.
destroyed everything.
You went up to 2 and you ate a churro.
And then I took a hit right afterwards.
I know.
It was so I didn't die.
That's true.
I hit the churro so I wouldn't die. Yeah, the items are funny.
The basic items are especially funny.
Basic items are super funny. So I like that. I like the skirmish aspect of the game, of all the monsters coming out and just kind of
Getting swarmed.
and figuring out the best way to take it. So that made it really interesting, all the swarm mechanics and trying to figure out the best way to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
The rounds was very cool. So it was a timed game. So there was no way to drag the game on too much. Because I figured once the big baddie comes out,
You
probably got
like quickly.
a couple of rounds left. Otherwise, you're going to get destroyed.
Right.
Just because he's doing 6 activations. And I think I played the highest health character,
Yeah,
which
you
is at
have
7.
7 health.
Versus the other guys have 6 and 5. So
Yeah, so he's got 6 activations and you are in the same space as him, or
yeah,
you're going to take 6 damage. That's
or he's just going to run across the board and beat you up.
Yeah, even if he does 2 damage, the entire game we've been taking damage, so it's not like we're going in pristine
And
and
there
shiny.
wasn't many ways to heal. I had the one character that could do some. I had the only character that could heal, but it was a 1/3 chance when I rolled my free action dice.
So how did you feel about the monster spawn mechanic?
I think it was cool how they spawned across the board and it was kind of random. There's some points in there we could talk about a little bit later in the conversation, and it's not a negative. It's just
Constructive criticism.
constructive, and just more ideas than anything.
Yeah.
That are more constructive.
So anything you want to hit on then for sure with things that really stood out to you that you enjoyed about the game?
I like kind of the unique abilities of everything. Like even the little base monsters, they each had a
1 to 2 action, 1 to 3
action. And they just kind of swarm and everything. So so how this map is though, you just take these tiles, you turn them upside down. So these are the tiles.
Shuffle them up and put them anywhere?
Shuffle them up and just lay them
Because
down.
they all
line
in
up
the same spots.
Yeah, they all line up in the same way. I kind of did the default in the rules how it shows.
Okay.
But it's
So it adds a little bit more randomization.
yeah, randomization to it. What even rooms do we have? We have the crypt room, we have the bathroom, we have the gift shop,
We've got the Viking room.
the Viking room.
I think this is the anatomy. There's skulls and stuff. There's like the biology room. And then this is
the Greek?
The Greek room. Yeah, I see some pillars and columns there. So I like that it's all themed. It's all stuff in the museum.
What were the? So we have the Egyptian, the Greek, the Norse. What was the last?
Greek, Egyptian, Norse. I'm blanking here.
I'm blanking on the last. There's 4 different.
No, there's 3.
3.
There's 4 gods from the
four,
free.
Okay,
Yeah, there's
so that's
3.
just another random
Yeah.
room. All right, so that's cool. Yeah, I think that I had a lot of fun with the game and just beating it up and killing things, chucking dice. I mean, it's always fun to chuck dice.
Yeah, and just because we've got the individual player abilities and stuff like that, it kind of lends it more to not having so much as one alpha gamer running everything.
And it has some amount of random, but it's not out of control random where you feel like you're not making an actual choice.
It's not purely luck based.
Yeah, it's not purely luck based. Where you get items and stuff, and you can mitigate a lot of the luck with strategy and everything else. So you do have those turns where you're just like, I rolled a bunch of 1s. I don't do anything.
I think we had that once a piece.
We had it actually on the other side where like, oh, we did all the damage.
Yeah.
So we had some lucky rolls.
So getting into the criticisms of the game. Josh, do you want to start this one off, or do you want me to...
Let you go first.
Let me go first?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
One of the things that I'd have to say is I feel like there's a disconnect between the board art and the character art.
So the board art, character, I feel there's the same disconnect.
There's a little bit, the board art is a little more on the...
It feels flat to me.
Yeah, it's more on the flat cartoon, like newspaper comic cartoony side. So like, for example here, just
how loud is that one going to green screen?
Oh, that mic green screen. That's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
But it doesn't look quite the same as you've got a lot more detail on the character cards. Like if you look at this one here.
Yeah.
You got a lot more detail on them in roughly the same amount of space. And then like even if you put in Thor, you can see like the glyphs on his chest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
His 8-pack.
Yeah. So that was one that I think the board art, and I said this with the other game we talked about last week. The graphic design a little bit seems a little flat and out of place a bit.
Okay.
It's not bad. It doesn't. It just it feels that matches.
Yeah,
But
the graphic design art and then the character art and the item art are two different things.
Yeah, that's not shown, but that's the back of the character cards, which it matches the design of the board, but doesn't match the design of the. So it feels like two different art styles, and I really like the character art.
Yeah, the character art's awesome.
And I wish everything was at that level. It would just make it that much cooler.
Right.
Nothing against the game, just.
Agreed.
But no, that was one of my points that I wanted to bring up. But I don't think it deterred from the game at all. I didn't lose my immersion from it or anything like that. I like the craters on the little spots where you jump in.
Yeah, that's a cute touch there.
So you show off one of the craters. So that's the show where your party jumps into the museum.
Yeah. Another one for me would probably be if you could hand me the Ghoul cards, the monster cards.
Anyone in particular, or?
Yeah, those two are fine. So all the Ghoul cards are the same. They just have different text. Spawn 5 ghouls at the bottom.
They actually have a different.
Oh no,
ghouls.
they do have a different. Oh, never mind. That's okay. You know what? For some reason, I didn't notice that. That's exactly what I wanted. It actually corresponds to the number of ghouls. I take back my statement. I like that.
Okay.
I was gonna say I wish that they put the number of ghouls on there that were actually on the card. For some reason, it didn't register with me. Criticism redacted.
Yep, they have all the cards are match the number.
Never mind, A+ for that.
My slight criticism going off of that topic is the little standees for the two.
Yeah,
are a little hard to
differentiate
because
they're so small.
They're so small. Like the only way I could tell is like big white head and then like half a white head.
Yeah, the head is the only way that I was able to tell.
It wasn't a huge thing, but yes.
Just note that it is a prototype.
Yeah, it is a prototype, so I don't know what changes.
So those are the two different ones there, and you're getting a little bit of glare there, so it's even harder to see. Yeah. But it's a little difficult to tell.
Yeah. But what I thought would have been nice is if they had a different there is a background. They're both red. If one was red and one was like blue or something, they would be a lot easier to.
That's true.
And you could even use the same artwork. It was just a minor. And I actually really didn't have too much an issue playing with it. It was just something I noticed when we were pulling together. Like these are a little hard to pull apart, especially when I have them in this giant pile here. Because there's how many are there? There's a
lot there.
There's a lot.
So
there's probably like 20 or 30 of them.
One final thing I want to say before I pass it off to Josh, because I know he's got something he wanted to talk about, was it would be nice if it gave you basically a turn order on the character card. I mean, we've got the thing at the top that says you get actions to attack and then 2 move, so that's nice. Yeah. Well, she's not here. So if you had something on the side that says, okay, so you have your character turn, you have your monster spawn, you have your...
Yeah. So to bring that point, I know their first stretch goal is for a quick reference card, but I wish that was not a stretch goal. I think that should be just... It's a single card.
Yeah, it would be nice to add.
And it's just nice to have. And if you can incorporate it on another card, I would be perfectly fine with that. Even like I have a prototype rulebook, so if maybe it will be on the back of the rulebook or something.
Right.
It's not hard, but Ramber and Ghouls have 2 actions. The Liches have 3 actions.
Yeah.
The Mythics have 3 actions, and then the Big Baddie has 6. And
it would be nice to have that.
Just a quick reference would be really nice.
So now I'm going to pass it over to you because I know that there's one thing in particular you wanted to talk about that you saw before the game that we played, but I wonder if that's still a concern of yours.
It wasn't bad. So one of the things is here, show that. We have these monsters, and then they have these little D12s. And, D12s is basically just a soccer ball, right?
Is it? I don't...
It's round. It's kind of like... It's easy to hit over and knock up.
Yeah, it's easy to knock over.
So table bumps, and with such a small die, it's going to be easier. We didn't have the issue because we're very careful in stream.
I've got big hands, but like this is, it's a small die.
But you already have sliders in the game with slide tracks.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so on the bottom of all of the character sheets, you have your little...
And you have a health bar?
XP sliders, and you have your health bar sliders on the top left, but this is the actual slider here. So they're in the game. So
I would just add a health counter to everything and just give them a slider.
Yeah, you could add a health counter to the sides of the monsters.
It's a minor little thing, and it's actually, I think, less... I think the dice are probably more pricey than the little sliders.
Especially if you're making them already.
Yeah, like if you already have some, it's just like, oh, just double the amount of those. So it's a minor little thing. It wasn't a big issue, but I can see people who have table lump are more rowdy at a game.
Especially, we were only playing
Especially
with 2 people.
a lot of dice rolling, so if dice hit it or stuff, if it's off on the side, you get that issue.
We have the luxury of some off-camera real estate
Yeah.
that we're playing with, and the fact that we're only playing with 2 people.
They did
right
use
now.
dice to do the seals. I was fine with that because they were D6s. Those are a lot harder to bump and knock over.
Right.
But that was a minor thing. The other thing, which would have been interesting to see, and this is more of a topic of discussion than it could have been interesting to see what would happen if, once the seals were gone, nothing else could spawn from it. I don't know if the seals were keeping things from spawning. I don't know the lore of that.
Okay.
It might have been an interesting mechanic and might have made the other seals harder to defeat because more things were spawning at it. And that might be just we had a very good job fighting. So I don't know how that worked out and all that stuff. And I don't know the balance of that. But
Just off the top of my head, I could see that being very difficult because a lot of stuff would, like if we had one seal lift we were all going towards at the end and you had 4 things spawn there, I think that could be really problematic.
yeah, it was something I thought of. I wasn't like, I don't know how it would work in the gameplay.
Right.
So I'm not just saying it's not a criticism. It's interesting, and it might be one of the other game things they talk about to make the game harder or stuff like that.
Right.
And I like that they have some other things, and I would really. So one of the good things about co-op games, and I like my co-op games to be hard, and this was difficult.
Right.
It wasn't impossible; it was difficult, and we managed to scrape by. And me and Matt play a lot of co-op games.
We do.
A lot of co-op games, and we've become very good at them. We work as a team very well. We can strategize.
Synergize well with the strategy. We kind of get what the other person's thinking. So
So we tend to do a little bit better at them, and I know some co-ops are supposed to be hard, and we can we make them seem a little easy when they're not. It's just us playing them a lot. So I like the idea of maybe some variant rules in the game that can increase or decrease difficulty.
Right.
So you can play at a more high level difficulty if that's what you're looking for.
Right, and I think that that's nice. They actually did say that that's going to be included in the game.
So I
there's
think
varying
that's
difficulty levels. So
that's
that's
very
pretty cool.
But yeah, I think we hit like.
I think we hit all the major criticisms. That both of us had
and
there.
it's not big criticism. It's just.
In all honesty, the game played really nice. We picked it up pretty easily, and I love the flavor of it. So most important, it's time for the most important question of the evening. So I'm going to shoot it to you first, and that's Josh. Would you play this game again?
Oh yeah, and I'd be very interested to see this in a larger party. This goes up to 5 players.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can see this being a lot. This game's very simple and easy to learn. It's not difficult. There looks like a lot to it, but it's very easy.
Yeah, we picked it up really quickly. And
I went through the rules, and it's a 20-page rule book, but most of it was pictures and examples. That was it.
So I would definitely play this again, and I would definitely want to try this on the hard mode setting, on the harder setting, because I again, am like Josh, I don't mind defeat in a co-op board game because it makes me want it even more.
Yeah.
I want a game that's going to push me and challenge me. And it has a lot of potential there for, just playing the vanilla version that we did. It was the last turn of the last round that we scraped by before the big baddie was going to come out and kick our butts. So I would definitely play this again. I had a lot of fun with it. And the theming, I think, is right up my alley also. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And this is one, I don't want to say it's my top co-op that we played this year, because we've had some good co-ops, like Champions of Horror was really good too.
Yeah,
they're both. But this is one of the better co-ops that I've played. This is like one sit-down skirmish kind of thing. It's not a campaign or a story where Champions Horror or like our Kingdom Death games are more story-based.
Right, and I think I'd have to agree with you there. This is the one-shot session co-op game. I think that
we could take out easily with a group of people.
This might be one of my favorite ones that we've played, and I really enjoyed this game a lot. The humor was there, the theme was there, everything was really solid. I really like this game.
Unique flavor text on all the cards.
Yeah,
that was.
So 2 big thumbs up. We would both definitely play this game again.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we signed off for the evening?
I think that's it. So
All right. So thank you all for joining us this evening. This was our honest review section of our spotlight of Mortals: Descent of the Gods by Partial Arc. So big shout out to them again. And if you haven't had the chance, please go and check out the spotlight session of that we did. If you're watching on video on demand, and if you're just tuning in now, then go check it out when it hits video.
If you're watching this on VOD, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
All the fun stuff. So with that, this is going to be Twist Gaming signing off. Before we do that, I'd like to point out that this stream and all of this week's streams are sponsored by Mortals: Descent of the Gods by Partial Arc, as well as Fruit Ninja by Lucky Duck. Twist Gaming signing off for the night. I'm Matt.
I'm Josh.
Good night, everybody. Take care. We really enjoyed having you. See you soon.
Good night.